Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Garage Gym Experiment Podcast. My name is Adam, and I'm here, like always, with Jake. He's in the garage, I'm in the basement, and on tonight's episode, we have for you a HomeGymCon update. Then we'll get into a product idea, talk about some new products that hit the market, and then get into our survey results. So, starting us off with that HomeGymCon update. Jake, take it away. Welcome to the Garage Gym Experiment Podcast, where we dive deep into the home gym scene. Each week, we put out Sunday surveys where you tell us your thoughts on products, builds, and all things home gym related. We're here to break down the numbers and to talk shop. So thanks for listening, and let's get started.
All right. Thank you, Adam. So we are now under 100 days until HomeGymCon. By the time this podcast is released, HomeGymCon.com will be live, so go ahead and check that out. It'll include the schedule, which we will continue to actually build out for the next month or two with everything on there. But the high-level schedule is there, the vendors we have so far, resort info, and a list of, so we will have about 4 to 5 stations of equipment that we are bringing on our own. That is all, a lot of that is being donated by some of the companies that can't make it, and then we're just going out and taking some of our funds and getting some other stuff. So that's at the very beginning of the list build out, but that's there as well. And then there's more. If there's something on the website that needs to be there or that you would need to know before deciding if this event's right for you, just let us know. We just want to make sure everything is as up to date as possible. Also want to talk about some of the vendors added, but before I get into that, I initially started reaching out to vendors in October, and basically like 13 signed up right away. And then we went on like this 2-month drought where nobody wanted to sign up. A lot of that was just had to do with holiday season. So, if I do this again, I probably won't start reaching out at the end of October.
We're reaching out like during Black Friday.
Right. It was
time.
like I'm telling you, it was the last week of October. We had like 13 sign up right away, which was a godsend, and went on a little bit of a drought, understandably. But we've added 3/4 this past week, and there seems to be, and there will actually probably be more signed up by the time this podcast is released. So some momentum there. But anyways, just wanted to let you know that Squat Max and MD and the Henny attachment will be there. So that is Brian Hennessy's 2 companies. 1 Kilo, led by Will Fleming. He's going to do a seminar and have a booth, and he's promised to bring some heavy lifting to the exposition floor. So he's an Olympic. Is he an Olympic? He's just no.
He went to Masters Worlds, and
he won Masters Worlds. So he's a Masters World weightlifting champion, and he runs 1 Kilo and going to have his own booth. And then lastly, Perch, which is a velocity-based training technology that is just like world class. You set it up at the front of your rack, and it tracks your movements and helps your workouts. So really cool to be adding these vendors. And like I said, keep your eyes peeled, a lot more coming soon. And also, just while we're on the topic, I'll be doing an R home gym AMA on Friday and Saturday to primarily promote this event. And throw me some questions in there. All right, let's move on to a product idea. All right, Adam, got to admit, I've ran a little dry, but I think this one's decent. All right, so mag pens. So booming in popularity right now. You've got Oak Club, Surplus Strength has the speed pens. Steadfast just came out with some 3D printed ones for like $20. So mag pens, I like using them. They're not like something you absolutely need, but cool to have. So my idea is why not bring this to some other products? So thinking about landmine handles, plates, and leg rollers. So I think leg rollers are kind of the easy one, just kind of similar to what you have with the speed pins there. You plug it in, easy to move in and out. Secures it enough. With plates, I'm thinking little magnets that can either attract to the bar so that it eliminates the need for collars. And then, with more plates being added, they kind of just connect together. And then the third one is landmine handles. This was the first one I thought of. I see this as if you're doing landmine rows, you could add this to like the Atlas attachment, or like I have also the Rogue landmine handle, which is pictured on the screen. If you put it on there, then it is quite a bit more secure. Or also, like, one of the issues with the landmine handle is if you drop it, it just clunks to the ground. So it rotates the ground, and then you have to rotate it back. So yeah, I think there's some more potential with adding some magnets to products like this to make it easier to use, and also make certain products easier to use, like the leg rollers, and more secure without collars for some of the other things.
Okay. So I got confused in the beginning. You're not talking about using mag pins for attachments. You're talking about using magnets on those attachments. Is that right?
Right. And let me go grab a speed pin real quick.
Okay.
All right. I've got a couple here, but they're basically just like, let me get it right. On the screen, you can see these little magnets. And imagine that like on the actual product, like on the plates, get them, and magnetizing to everything.
Yeah, I could see like maybe like change plates, because those are the ones that rattle off. Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's a good one. Yep. Or even just like a specific one for either. I'm thinking like the first one you put. So that way you at least keep that first one there.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how feasible that is, but seems like the magnets aren't too expensive to add.
Yeah, and I do like how they're making their way already, like in barbell collars, where you can like attach them like to your rack, and then they hold to the plates as well. Yeah, right. The addition of magnets, I think, would be a good thing for some things. I don't know if it'd be overkill on a lot of them. I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out. I know what you mean with like a landmine handle. I just don't know. I don't know if that would be something that would do it for me. Leg rollers. Where did you have them coming in? And like where they like snap in, like as it like secures to your rack. It's like a magnet there.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like on rack attachments, having a magnet in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not crazy about the idea, so it's I'm gonna give it kind of a low score. Sorry, Jake. I'm gonna say like a 5. Some things it would work well for. Some things I'm like, I just don't see it.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah. There could be something there. This honestly might be one of those things that's just straight up overkill.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's move on. So, there's been a number of new products lately that have been released. Let's start with the Titan Open Trap Bar. So, this was the big one released last week. It received so much attention because I think Titan teased it last April. So, we've all been just kind of waiting. Especially as a few other open trap bars were released during the time. So everyone was kind of curious to see what Titan had. And I think, like, for the most part, we were underwhelmed. So it's a real stout open trap bar. It's 65 pounds, has a 1,500 pound weight capacity. It's made of 11 gauge steel. It is rackable, but it's not balanced like the Giant or the Rep one. And then it's priced at $329. So to me, this open trap bar seems closest to the Kabuki one. It's just a real solid bar. There were some people who, it's a real solid bar, and I have to say, like, it will absolutely do the job. And then Titan made a few comments on the Instagram post where they basically just said that they designed the trap bar to focus on the lower body. They wanted it to be a heavy-duty construction with an increased weight capacity so that everyone could do lower body workouts to maximum potential. So they weren't worried about, people using it for benches or like taking off the handles and benching and squatting, maybe squatting, but
yeah.
So yeah,
that was like like I got all in the comments, and there were a lot of comments, and I would say it felt 50-50 to me, positive, negative. A lot of people trashing it for the price being close to like Giant, and not being balanced and these other things. And then other people, just enjoying that Titan's adding a bar like this to their arsenal. But Titan was in there defending it. That was fun to see. It's always nice when like the company who puts something out isn't quiet about it. They're not, they went to bat for it, which is great. It was almost kind of like a nod to Rep with a lot of the comments, because people love the fact that Rep didn't use that, square tube steel. They used something that can be used as a camber bar. So like there are probably like 5 or 10 questions like, well, why can't I use it as a camber bar? Why'd you like waste all that potential? And it was like Rep's the only one to have already done that before. And like it's almost an expectation for a lot of people now. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. That might be the way that open trap bars go from here on out. But
yeah. And I think every time you post something about Titan, the comments are like what you said. They're like 50-50. And a lot of people just bring up past experiences with Titan on every single post, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. You like to say it's not fair, but at the same time, that's like almost like telling companies when they first hit the market that your initial impressions are lasting for people. So
yeah. So anyways, I mean, it seems like a decent bar. It doesn't seem like it's as polished as something like the Rep bar that was released, like it doesn't seem like it has metal feet, for example. It seems like the diameter is a little thin. So like it's just not as well thought out. Part of it is probably because it's been sitting there for a really long time. But decent bar for $329, I'd say. Next up, the Rogue Alpaca sled. So this is a big sled, or a beefy sled, I should say. It debuted in last year's CrossFit Games. Its biggest factor is it includes this like catch-all weight where you can put basically anything you want rather than simply just plates, like sandbags you see in the picture. Yeah, dumbbells, heavy bags. I put heavy bags of salt. Like, if you got a heavy bag of salt, just put it in there. That'll work. Yeah.
Throw your kids on there. That's a good kid sled right there.
I thought about that, but I don't want to like openly say that and get sued. So, but yeah, this one's
buckle them in.
buckle those kids in. So this one's. I would say this is probably it's got to be the nicest like push sled out there. That's not like one of those or the non-motorized, like the Toric or the GetRx ones. Yeah,
it's super cool looking. I did just recently learn that is the exact frame and everything of the Echo Dog sled, and it just has a conversion kit to give you those welded in handles and the little catch crate or whatever. So if you have an Echo Dog sled and you want the Alpaca sled, they sell a kit that can convert it for like $150 or something like that. It's pretty cool.
Gotcha.
Because the look of this thing is slick.
Yeah, it's still not incredibly cheap.
No, it's not. But I think you need with sleds, especially today's day and age, I think you need something where you can hook a strap, and it probably does have some kind of metal hook in there where you can put some straps and pull it and drag it and things like that. But that has to be something that I think all sleds have these days.
Did they not market that?
I think it does, but
Yeah.
I don't see it on the picture, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on. So I'll go over this one real quick. Bells of Steel manual treadmill from Bells of Steel. Just kind of an interesting product for Bells of Steel to add. Not too much different than what we see out there today. But it does include 6 magnetic resistance where you can walk, resistance levels, I should say, where you can walk, run, or push it. This is real similar to the Zebex Air Plus runner, but at a little bit lower price. But I don't think it does not, from what I can tell, have Smart Connect features. So I like this one from Rogue. So the Rogue Heavy Rail. So this uses 3x3 11-gauge steel. You mount it to the bottom of your wall, and you can use it for a number of different purposes. So either specialty bar storage, which is what I like it for. You can add a landmine, plate storage, or just in general, anything with 1-inch holes. So pretty cool. Not cheap either, but I can't remember where I saw this, but I believe Sorinex and Stray Dog have this already. So I want to make sure that Rogue didn't just invent this from what I can tell. I don't know if Sorinex brought it first or if Stray Dog did, but I would add this to my setup if I had to do it again or had space. So
it kills me about like storage systems though from like nice companies like Sorinex and
they're
Rogue.
so expensive.
They're so expensive, and they look amazing. And like if you go to gyms that are like decked out with like storage kits like this, it looks so much better. But you are sacrificing a ton of equipment that you could have brought into your gym for storing the equipment that you have. So if you have the funds, like this stuff is great. But if you're building out or you're on a budget, like, man, you look at the prices and it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I like that they're out there. I'm not complaining, but
I was going to say I'm pulling it up on my phone right now. But what gets me is, you see it on the product page. It says $125, and then you click in it, and then like every one of those add-ons is at least like, if you want the good ones, they're at least like $75. So it's like
that one's okay. So like, super expensive, but that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
So I mean, if you really want to deck it out, it's going to be like $500, $600, $700.
I mean, that's bad. But like I see in like I see in the sample picture there, like they put like a landmine attachment. That's really cool.
Right.
And then if you had like a specialty bar storage or two, maybe you could end up spending $250, $300, and have something with like a landmine attachment that you really take advantage of.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but you could probably find those 1-inch storage options on Titan or Rogue. Or sorry, or Rep for a bit cheaper. Anyways, I thought this was kind of cool. The plate spacers from AdMat. This is in partnership with Donnie Thompson. I think these are pretty cool. I think there's a lot of DIY versions that you can do for very cheap. And I will say this is very cool, but not worth the money for 99.9% of the people. But anyways, these plate spacers basically add some space between the barbell and where you end up putting the plate, making it easier to rack. They also do weigh 2.5 pounds, so they do double as change plates, which is kind of cool. And then they can be used for bands or chains when you're lifting. But at $95 a pair, I think you have to be having all three of these needs to make it worth it.
Yeah, super cool. And we all know the feeling of, being at like a really heavy squat, going to rack it, and then you like your plate hits the rack, you stumble backwards a step and a half, and you almost kill yourself. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. And then finally, survey results. So asked about the open trap bar from Titan. So general level of interest. So about 7% had high level interest, 22% medium, 69% low, and then just 3% were neutral. So overall, not too much high interest. And then we asked about the pricing. So would you buy it at $329? Would you buy it at $299? And then would you buy it at $269? So the amount of high interest votes pretty much aligns with what we saw in yes votes for the $329. So about 6.5% said that they would buy it at $329. About 12% said that they would buy it at $299. And then 21% would buy it at $269. So that definitely makes sense. I think for me, like that $70 price difference between the Titan and then the Rep, the differences, and I haven't even tested the bar yet. So, but based off of my guessing, the Rep is worth it for the additional cost. But if you don't have any interest in ever taking the sleeve or taking the handles off, this might be an option for you to consider as well. But I mean, over 20% would buy it at $269. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned it on that when we first started or when we originally talked about the Titan Open Trap Bar, but it is sold out right now.
Oh, good for them.
They obviously sold a bunch.
Yeah.
So, all right. How much do you expect to pay for an adjustable bench? So last week we released a guide on our website saying what were the best adjustable benches for price. We pretty much recommended that you spend over $300 to get a good one. Most people don't want to spend over $300 or too much more over $300, but let me go over the numbers. Less than 24% want to pay less than $300. The bulk went to between $300 and $400 at 44%. 21% said $400 to $500, and then 11% said more than $500. So there's a lot of premium benches out there for $500 or more, and most people just aren't even thinking about that. With that being said, about 2/3 want to spend under $400. We kind of had that in mind when we made our guide. That's why we didn't just recommend the premium benches, but this was interesting to see, I thought.
Yeah.
What would you pay? What would you expect to pay?
I said $300 to $400 with knowing what's out there and knowing the quality of bench you can get for that price range. I think that fits most people, and yeah, I'd expect to pay that. So,
yeah. All right. Next up, when asking about how much you are projecting to spend on your home gym this year, about 2 in 3 say they will spend more than $300. So going into the details on that, about 8% said they were going to spend less than $100. 26% said between $100 and $300. 44% between $300 and $1,000. And then 30% are spending more than $1,000 this year. And those are a tad bit up from when we asked this at this time last year. So what did you think you were going to spend in 2022 versus what did you think you were going to spend in 2023? And then finally, just a few more miscellaneous ones. So 56% typically set gym-related goals going into each year. That was 51% last year when we asked. 67% have heard of the universal pulley system. Last year at this time, only 17% knew what the universal pulley system from Surplus Strength was. So over 3 times more, almost 4 times. So pretty cool growth there. And then premium J cups received a little bit more interest than premium collars. It's on the screen wrong, but the premium J clips had about 18% high interest votes versus 14 for the collars. And it was actually flipped last year. So there wasn't too much variance, but the premium collars had something like 20% high interest. So those went down.
Jake, do you use collars like often?
No, I don't.
I use them. No, I use them one time for one piece of equipment. Right. It's for the tib bar, and it's because you have to. Because of the way it's loaded, and I don't use them for anything else. And I got made fun of when I started Olympic weightlifting, putting collars on, because I figured you're throwing this thing over your head. No one uses collars. I know in competitions they do, and like if you're doing what Olympic weightlifters consider cardio, which is sets of 2 or 3, you might throw some collars on there if you have like some change plates. But I don't understand you got to have the best collar in your home gym. I don't get it. Like,
no.
People spending like $100 on a set of collars. It blows my mind. Like, why?
I think that myth came from like commercial gyms and CrossFit gyms.
Yes,
having just awful collars.
When you have to use collars at commercial gyms. Like I remember lifting in like the little desk perks and like running up and like throwing collars on my bar real quick. Like, what are you doing? I'm benching 135. It's okay.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't use them either. I use them for like, if I'm using the landmine, I'll probably put something on there to make sure the weight stays. So that's one reason why the magnetic thing works that we talked about earlier. I'll throw them on like the leg extension, leg curl machine.
Yeah, same.
I rarely use them.
I was thinking about like,
if I do, I don't even grab I have like nice Rogue aluminum magnetic ones. I don't even use them because they're a little bit more difficult to use than a lot of the other ones I have just laying around,
Yep.
So
yeah, I don't get the collar interest, but I mean, hey, you deck your home gym out with whatever you want.
It's obviously going down. So
I mean, I'm thinking they're sitting on shelves. And then 56% set gym-related goals going into this year. That seems very low for a home gym community answering these questions.
Well, it's 51% last year.
Again, very low. I don't know. It seems very low to me.
Yeah.
I guess like if the gym's already your routine, like, and it's already part of your life, it's just what you do.
Well, we know like about half don't do like any strength sport. So they're not like into a strength sport. They're not necessarily chasing numbers. No, I mean, honestly, it seems a little low to me too, but it is what it is. Data don't lie.
Data don't lie.
That's going to do it.
That's going to do it. All right, guys. Well, if you like tonight's episode, keep your eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay involved on our social media sites by following Garage Gym Experiment and taking part in our Sunday surveys on Instagram so that you can be a part of these conversations. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and get involved on our website for all your home gym content needs. And like Jake said at the beginning of this episode, by the time this thing goes live, visit HomeGymCon.com. And we'll see you in 100 days. Jake, do you have anything else left for the listeners?
Nope.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye.